Welcome to Relish Lifestyle Podcast. We're on episode 9, which is hard to believe in our first series. We are nearly, not quite, but we're nearly through February, so I'm quite pleased about that. What about you?
Yeah, I know, delight. But you've been away.
I know. Well, I have been very lucky. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't manage to do the podcast. We said we were going to do one like between us, weren't we? From me from Portugal and you from here.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a bit tricky with sort of Wi-Fi connections and timings and things. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yes, it was lovely. And I've learnt my lesson that this stretch between sort of Christmas to March feels long. I know February is a short month, but it feels long. And these dark evenings.
I know. I think the last few years, it just feels like the winters that sort of merging into the summers. We seem to get a lot of grey days.
And it feels oppressive.
I know, it'd be quite nice if we just had... I quite like it when it's either sunny and cold. I don't mind the cold.
No.
And we don't even get any snow anymore that breaks it up. And I know snow is a real nightmare, like when you're travelling and stuff. But actually, it kind of breaks up the winter.
Well, I think snow as well. I mean, it's kind of what you see on every postcard or Christmas book. You expect snow, but I guess if you've got children, it's quite nice as well because it gives them something to do, like play with the snow and make a snowman. But for the rest of us, the winter seems to drag on epically long. But yeah, so I did it when I did it last year. I think it was the last year or the year before. I was very lucky, and I went off to Portugal, to the southern part of Portugal, and it just broke up the winter.
Yeah, of course it does.
And though the flight time,
you didn't go swimming though, did you?
No, absolutely. The issue, well, not an issue, but one of the things to bear in mind with Portugal is obviously it's the Atlantic. It's not the Mediterranean.
I know.
So
didn't you dip your toe in?
I paddled.
Charlie.
I did paddle. I did get some odd looks from the Portuguese, obviously, people because they're all in their winter coats and thick socks and things. I'm there in my shorts paddling. But no, it was lovely. And it was just lovely to get some sun and have a bit of, me time, but also just to chill out for a bit. So it was quite good timing, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think loads of people I seem to know at the moment have just gone away. Even if you don't, I mean, I think that's the thing, is that you don't even have to travel that far.
No, that's what I was going to say. It's 3 hours. If you go, it was 10 degrees, 50
Yeah,
degrees
exactly.
warmer.
Yeah, nice. So did you cook anything?
So
try anything new?
Yeah, so I know we obviously have our section normally on books, but obviously I mentioned it before, but I got the Portuguese cookbook, which is a Fiden publication for Christmas, didn't I?
Yeah.
And in that is, I'm not going to pronounce this properly, so apologies, Bolo Rei. So it's B-O-L-O and then R-E-I. And basically that means the king's cake is translated as. And we've had it. You remember when we went to Porto?
Oh, yeah.
And I went to that bakery.
You were always running out every morning and coming back with things that I kept thinking I shouldn't be eating those.
I know, they do have quite a sweet tooth, the Portuguese. But what I've noticed is they have a lot of sugar up front of their day, is what I found quite interesting. So, like when you have as well, Spain, Portugal, even France to a certain extent, but less so. There's definitely like a sweet tooth. When we were in Lisbon as well, we went to the Montenegro.
Yeah.
And you watch the businessmen and women come in the mornings and they have their pastel de nata and their little espresso pequeno, which is means small coffee in Portuguese. And that's what they have, but it's quite a hit of caffeine and sugar. But then they don't seem to then indulge too much in sugar for the rest of the day, if that makes sense. They seem to have it as a morning thing, whereas we are sort of more traditional in terms of our British breakfast with your sort of bacon butter, which is quite salty. There's no sugar in that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose we're a bit of a mixture though, aren't we? Because they don't really eat cereals, whereas I think in this country and probably in America you eat a lot of cereals with sugar and milk on.
Sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so we used to go, this patisserie opposite us in Porto. I used to buy this Bolo Rei, and it is basically a round cake. But what I was going to say, I was going to caveat that with it's more bready. I'm trying to think of something to liken it to that's...
like a tea cake?
Yeah.
Or a hot cross
more
bun?
More cakey than a tea cake.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you remember? Yeah, hot cross bun's probably closest, actually.
Or what about a Chelsea bun?
No, I think hot cross.
Okay.
But I would say so basically it's full of dried fruit, nuts. It's basically the initial ingredients, which is dried fruits and nuts and a few spices. It's very similar to what you do with a Christmas cake here. And then actually you soak it in port, obviously being Portugal.
Of course.
So you soak your fruits in port instead of, obviously we would use brandy or whiskey, wouldn't we, here for Christmas cake. So you soak your fruits and then you make it so it's fermented as well. So you add yeast to this initial kind of poolish starter thing, but it doesn't take very long. It's like a 45-minute thing. And then you make your cake. So that's the bread element, is like the yeast in this starter.
Yeah.
And then you mix it into basically a sponge mix, egg, sugar and flour. Anyway, so I made one. There will be some pictures coming up on Instagram. I will do that. But I obviously had to sort of hodgepodge the tin because I didn't have my usual.
Yes, well, you're very good at that, aren't you? you use was it parchment paper or foil or something?
So they had individual pastel de nata tins in my Airbnb. And so I stacked them, wrapped those in in some baking parchment. So I should explain that this cake bread bolo roy has a hole in the middle, like a bundt cake. And then I found a flan tin. So I shaped the dough into the round and I stuck the stacked tins in the middle and then baked it. Yeah. So it took about an hour to bake. But it's a really nice kind of, for them, it's their Christmas cake, really. You see it in all bakeries and stuff, but obviously for us, it was just nice to do.
So you did a bit of baking while you were over there?
Bit of baking, and just general sort of exploring. But it was it was just nice to have
chill out, get some warmth. Very nice, very nice indeed.
What have you been up to?
Well, while you've been away, of course, award season has started. Now, I know that's normally for movies and things. So we're all in the throes of that at the moment, which I absolutely love. So I keep going to cinema. I've been endlessly to cinema, as well as a bit of theatre. But I thought we could talk about the awards season. It flashed up because it's been the Michelin stars have been announced.
Yeah.
And there were 3 more that went into the 3-star category. Anyway, I thought we'd share a bit of this because I think, these people work jolly hard to get these awards. I mean, it's a big thing, isn't it, in the food industry?
Gosh, yes. And 3, three is the highest accolade you can be given. So
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. So I thought we'd just give them a mention, actually.
Go for it,
So not that we've eaten at any of them.
Not yet.
No.
We should caveat that.
I know. So
we'd like to.
Yes, I mean that is the thing, isn't it? We've got 3 Michelin stars. They get the bill is 4 times as long, or 3 times as long at least. Okay, so we've got Moore Hall.
Yeah.
From Lancashire.
Nice.
And that's under Mark Birchall, which is the chef there. Right. And who else do we get? The Hyde & Fox in Saltwood.
And these are 2 stars.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I've jumped. That was the 3-star. So it was one new, wasn't it? One new addition to the 3-star list, which was Moore Hall in Lancashire. And then there was a couple of 2 new stars in the 2-star. The Hyde & Fox in Saltwood, which is apparently Alistair Barsby. Mm-hmm. And the Humble Chicken, which is Angelo Sato's place in London.
Right.
So and also the Ritz restaurant.
See, I would have thought they would have had 2 already, but obviously not.
It's amazing actually that some that you think are Michelin or high Michelin stars aren't, but it doesn't mean to say that they're not amazing.
But they also already had 1, so I mean it's pretty impressive anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was the executive chef John Williams. Anyway, I just thought it was really kind of nice to give you a mention.
Well, actually, and this has almost been timed perfectly, but it wasn't intentional. So I'm going down to Devon to see my best friend this coming weekend. And we're actually going to Crocodon Farm, which had a Michelin star, but it's in this run of awards, it's just won a green Michelin star, which is the sustainability and provenance star that they award.
Yeah.
So it's got both. It's got one of each.
It shows that they really are doing things to sort of lead the way.
So I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, totally.
So there will be some pictures, hopefully, of that. But yeah, no, so it is busy time for awards then.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
I didn't know whether, well, I don't know. Do you know what the difference is, Chai?
Between?
If you've got 1 Michelin to 3 Michelin.
Oh, gosh. Well, I imagine there'd be certain criteria. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but things like service and all that will probably be much more taken into account as you get further. Do you know?
Well, no, I Googled it. I Googled it. Good old Google. Because I was really intrigued. And so basically on the Michelin Guide, it says that 1 star is awarded to restaurants using top quality ingredients where dishes with distinct flavours are prepared to a consistently high standard.
Right. Sounds like our own. Yeah.
2 Michelin stars are awarded when the personality and talent of the chef are evident.
That's why we don't have them.
In their expertly crafted dishes. It's refined and inspired, okay? I mean, this must be so difficult. And a 3 Michelin is the highest award, of course, and is given for superlatively cooking of chefs at the peak of their profession. And it's elevated to an art form. And some of their dishes could even become classic dishes, which I don't know. I mean, in the realms of what a classic dish is, we're not necessarily going to be cooking those at home, are we?
No, and
if anyone's tried to emulate,
the only thing for me is how you define a classic dish.
Exactly.
So, surely, if it's a classic dish, it's already been cooked before. So that restaurant would have to have a 3 Michelin star with that dish to become a classic for at least 5, 10
Or is
years?
It because they've taken the beef bourguignon, which must be a classic dish or something like that, and just elevated it to what? A special art form.
A 3-star one.
Anyway, I mean, I think you're right, though. I think a lot of this is linked to service as well, and ambience and atmosphere, consistency, that kind of thing.
I know. I mean,
flavour, of course.
And I would say it's probably quite hard, because obviously this is international. So you have, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, and obviously you've done more research than I have, certainly. But as a judge, how do you compare a hunter forager in Norway with Sketch in Mayfair?
I know.
But they might both have 3 stars.
But I'm presuming, having read this out, I'm presuming to get 3 stars, you've got to have what they were looking for in the 1 star.
Well. And
what they were looking for in the 2 stars, which is then the personality and talent, quality of ingredients. You see what I mean?
Do you think
I think you've got to kind of have all of them.
Do you think you could go from 1 to 3, or do you think you have to go 1, 2, 3?
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, no,
and find out if any restaurant has done that.
I feel like you have to gain each one.
Some regain. I mean, it seems to me that a lot regain them for quite a long time. Like Le Manoir, au 4 Saisons.
Yeah.
Good old Raymond Blanc has retained his 2 Michelin stars, and I think I'm going to have to look this up now. But he's had that for a long time.
Well, that means the standard of cooking.
Yeah.
But what I would say,
but he's never been elevated to a 3.
Also, the other thing I would just quickly on the classic dishes front.
Do
you know of a Raymond Blanc 4 Saisons classic dish?
It'll be one his mother cooked in her kitchen.
What I'm saying
he was inspired by his maman, like you are, Charlie.
We're not all cooking suddenly a Manoir 4 Saisons classic dish in our kitchen.
No. Though I do actually have some Raymond Blanc cookbooks.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that.
He has definitely a personality. And he probably, was a forerunner of bringing French cuisine, like the Bruges, to Britain.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Especially, and actually, just quickly on, sort of restaurant related, obviously, but I was watching a Rick Stein, and he goes to France. And one of the questions, it is a relatively old, few years old series, Secret of France, I think it is. One of the questions he sort of poses is whether he thinks French food has got worse over the decades.
Yeah.
And you watched obviously the whole series, and he sort of this question keeps banding around, he keeps asking people about it, blah, blah, blah. And I think sort of the outcome of it is it hasn't got worse, but British cooking has caught up in terms of what's available, how we cook. But what I'm saying is those influences of those, trailblazers like the Roux brothers and Raymond Blanc and others have really elevated British cooking. And so actually other countries can't necessarily say, oh, well, actually we're much better than Britain because we have such skills.
The only thing I would definitely say is that the traditional classic cooking it stems from France. Yeah. And if you have been trained classically, you've only got to watch other chefs or certain programs and stuff, but you can see that they know how to cook. If they are asked to make, for instance, a pastry or a sauce, if you've been classically trained in some areas, you just know instantly what you've got to do.
We've said this with those MasterChef professional.
Absolutely.
And they do what are they called? Not the challenge, when they do
professional MasterChef.
Yeah, but when
the
skills test.
Skills test, it is. Yeah.
When you watch a chef come in and he or they have been classically trained.
Yeah, it's different.
And they, fillet the turbot in 30 seconds. And then you get someone else who hasn't been.
No.
And they fumble.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? It's an interesting.
Yeah, no, it is. But, any of us, if, even a good old bechamel sauce, or any sauce, to be honest. If you understand a roux, but that is a fundamental classic dish. And you can pick up a Leith, and if you look at any of like the Baking Bible or any, a lot of them are based because she was a classic. She was classically trained.
But even if we go back to like
still fundamental
Delia or whatever, she still makes roux. I mean, it's not,
and she does it properly.
Yeah.
And it all goes back
to being
make
such a difference.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and I would like just to say that big clap to all these people because it is hard. It's a hard industry, but that what they create is just unbelievable. And there's a lot out there. And sorry, we've only mentioned a few, but to be honest, Charlie, there was an enormous list. And there's just one little thing I did want to say to you. So, the Crab Shack. I'm going to be a big shout out for the Crab Shack in Worthing.
Yeah.
They have had a mention twice by Rick Steen. So he was on Saturday Kitchen and he was also on This Morning or something like that. I only saw it as a post. I didn't see the actual programmes.
That's good.
But I think he's doing a thing around England, Britain. And he was being asked things like, where do you like to eat? And he was sort of saying about, the fish and the freshness, and the Crab Shack got mentioned once. Brilliant. And I follow them, and so they reposted it. And I was fantastic. We've eten there. They are a great place.
It is a great place.
It's quirky, a lovely little place.
Fresh, fun. We liked it though.
We do.
So that's our Michelin reel. But hopefully, I think we should all just mention that obviously Michelin, it's a treat if you go to one. And I think if you are into your food and you can, as a treat go, it's certainly worth it just to experience not just the food, but like we've said, the ambiance, the service. It's just and make a day out, it's a lovely thing to do.
But what we've said a couple of times, Charlie, is you can still go to these great places, but how many times can you remember what you've eaten afterwards? So I think that is something to be said about that you can go to just really great places that do use great ingredients, that they just know what they're doing and they're great with flavours. And it might be something that you go away and you'll reminisce about that or talk about it and then share that with someone. It's not just built on, they've got a Michelin star.
No. No, I agree with that. But I'm just saying if you are, we often go for lunches in the week because it's obviously a slightly cheaper way of going or experiencing these
You make it sound like we go on a regular basis.
No, but what we have also said, but what I was going to say was we have also said, and this is, I think, came out of COVID, whereas, before we might have gone out for dinner, maybe once or twice a fortnight, something like that. And then we sort of said that actually we'd rather not go out as often, but when we do go out, we go somewhere different, innovative or new, rather than going back to the same places and still spending.
Yeah.
A meal out now is quite hefty, even if you just go to, somewhere on the high street.
I think sadly, if I'm being brutally honest, there's a lot of mediocre places that charge a lot of money. And actually, I just don't want to pay for that. No. I'd rather pay for something, as I say, if it's going to the local, farm shop cafe that does a spectacular something or other that you go to, or you treat yourself where you know the food is going to be fab and you spend a bit more. But other than that, there's a lot of mediocre places. So we are a bit... Anyway, moving on to you, Charlie.
What have I done
thinking
now?
about top ingredients, bringing your personality to the table.
Well, that's what I struggle with. lack of that. No, I think we want bread. I know
bread. That's what we were going to talk about.
Yes, we talked about bread. I mean, I love homemade bread. I think it's a real. It's just the difference between shop bought bread and homemade bread is so different, so stark. But actually, it's an incredibly, relatively simple thing to be able to do. It just takes time. And I know that's a really easy thing for me to say, but actually the making of the bread is relatively quick in terms, it's minutes. It's just the proving element. So it's, I think as long as you're planning it, homemade bread is very achievable, even if, you're working.
Well, you've always amazed me. You come round, we were doing something and you'll go, should we have some whatever bread or pita breads with that or whatever, bish bash bosh, and they're done and they're amazing.
Yeah. Well, there's a few recipes that I sort of go back to. I do quite like making these sort of flatbreads, because I just think they're quite...
versatile as well.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
And we've done them like in the summer with barbecues. And this is a Relish Lifestyle top tip. If you've got any barbecue actually, but it's got a shelf, a few, 30 centimetres below where the heat is, and you're trying to prove something, you can always put your flatbreads under that to keep them going. We've done that before. I've made the flatbreads and I've put them under the barbecue.
Under the barbecue.
Yeah.
You have, yeah.
So they rise. But yeah, I love homemade.
It's been such a long time ago
since we had
it was so nice on barbecue.
It's too cold.
Well, I've been doing this one and I know it's based... I have actually. I've been making my own bread now for quite a long time. And, but I found this recipe and it was based on one you gave me, Charlie. But what I do so basically you take I take mixed flours. It's that one where I take some seeded.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing is, buy some really nice flour, but in all fairness, it doesn't matter. But it's quite nice to try different flours. They do. It does change the flavour of the bread, doesn't it?
Just quickly on that. No, what I was going to say was if you buy a loaf of bread, even a semi-nice loaf of bread now in the supermarket, you're talking £2.50, £3.
Oh, upwards.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a bag of flour costs you £2, maybe £3.
Yeah, even a good one.
And you'll get 3 loaves of bread.
Oh, easily, yeah.
So actually, it's not expensive. It's 70p per loaf or whatever.
And it obviously takes a bit of time. But if you think about it, you're adding your flour. So mine is I use a seeded flour, and then I use a strong bread flour. But what I've gone to do, and this was one of the I'm sure it was a recipe you gave me, Charlie. But you rub into the flours just a tiny bit, like 20 grams or something, 25 grams of butter. You can swap that for olive oil if you want to. But anyway, a little bit of butter. I think it adds to the seasoning and the texture and everything, or the flavour, I should say. And then obviously you do your salt, you've got your yeast on the go. But I add a couple of dollops of Greek yoghurt.
Yeah. I was going to say about the yogurt. The flatbread's got yogurt in it.
Yeah, but anyway, I then do the whole thing. So mine does go in a loaf tin, mix it all up, with your warm water and everything, and then let it process. And I've been using that. And actually, what I would say is, because I probably don't eat loads of bread, but it doesn't go off. I keep it in, that's the other thing.
You've got a linen bag.
Yeah, like a linen bag. Bread is quite good. Just rolled in like a little canvas or linen bag. Anyway, I do that, and if I don't eat it all, in terms of because it's sort of gone to go stale or whatever, I always say to people, whiz it up into breadcrumbs, or just tear it up and make croutons with it.
Yeah.
Because they're so useful to add to things. And to be honest, if you don't eat them as croutons, you can always break the croutons up and use those as breadcrumbs.
It's quite interesting because in Spain and parts of Portugal, they use stale bread as like a thickener for sauce.
Oh, yeah, they do, yeah.
So actually, if you're looking at, if you wanted to make like sort of chunky soup or, I don't know, something with meat, like a stew, you can use to bulk things out, it's quite a good way of using that.
But of course, dried breadcrumbs or stale breadcrumbs, you whiz up, you can pop them in the freezer, or they will sit in the fridge for a long time, or in a little sealed bag, you know. The other thing I've found is sometimes I put them in a low oven, spread them out on a baking sheet, put them in a low oven, just let them dry out. And if you then put them in one of those Ziploc bags, they will actually stay in your cupboard. It's a bit like having panko breadcrumbs. Yeah. So if they are dried out, because it's the moisture that will make them go off.
I've used them for if I've deep fried something, I've breaded it with my own bread that's been done like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're doing things for your children, you know, if children they want, I don't know, fish. Breaded fish or a bit of chicken, or even for you, it's quite nice to roll something. Just gives a bit of texture. I mean, you can even bake it. You don't have to fry it, but you can probably just pop it in the oven. But it's just really nice, and you've got your own, and you know where the breads come from and everything. Anyway, And you don't need a big freezer, do you?
I'm a fan of homemade bread. The other thing, obviously, you can do. I know you just mentioned freezer, but you can freeze bread.
Yeah.
So you could make some rolls, freeze them, and defrost them. The other thing you can do is if you do have a loaf or a roll that's not stale, but maybe a couple of days old, you can literally run it under a tap and put it back in the oven for 5-10 minutes, and it kind of reinvigorates it.
What, a loaf of bread?
Yeah. The moisture kind of rebounds it.
So if it's just got a bit dry, you mean?
Yeah. Just literally run it under a tap, sort of, I don't know, move your hands out. You can't see this, obviously, on the podcast, but sort of waft it under the tap a bit. So it's all sort of slightly damp, not soppy.
No, so you might sprinkle it, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, you can just run it under. It's fine.
Whoa.
And then it kind of can springboard it back into... That's what they do in restaurants and bakeries if they've got too much stuff or not enough. That's how they reinvigorate stuff. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's a moisture thing.
I've learned something from you today.
Relish Lifestyle top tips.
Oh, Relish Lifestyle, yeah.
So, but it's bread for me is a big thing, which I've got to probably try and eat less of, but I do love it. So it's
but good bread. Good bread is, and then you've got good butter. Everything it's about the ingredients and everything.
Touching on butter.
Oh, yeah, go on then.
Well, we were going to talk about things that should and shouldn't be in the fridge. So you and I definitely don't put our butter in the fridge.
Well, no, I do put my butter in the fridge, but when the butter that I'm using, I don't. The only time I probably do put it in the fridge is if we do get warm days, if we're lucky enough to get, really hot days. Yeah. And then obviously I do put it back in the fridge. But other than that, but eggs are my big bugbear. People put eggs in the fridge.
I know.
Don't put eggs in the fridge.
No,
you don't buy them from the fridge in a supermarket or a shop.
No, but in America you do.
Yes, but
so I think this habit, because don't forget, refrigerators fundamentally came from America, refrigeration, and I think it's the way they treat their eggs. They have to be almost refrigerated.
Yeah, which scares
I know it does at the moment, but.
I know how they treat their eggs.
Our eggs don't need to be in the fridge. And also, what I would say is if you're baking, you do not want a fridge cold egg. It won't blend as well with a cake.
No.
And what I was going to say is this is the time when I was talking about planning, like bread and things, is actually you again don't want to put your recipe. You don't want to put a cube of fridge cold butter in your dough because it won't blend. So you need the butter to be cold. And one thing I've always found is I have to be a bit organised if I'm making a cake or the bolo roy or something, is to get my butter out the night before, because otherwise you don't want fridge cold butter when you're trying to bake. It just won't work. You won't be able to cream your eggs and butter and sugar.
The other big thing I've got is jams, chutneys, condiments, mustards, all that do not need to be in the fridge.
No. They don't. No. We would. I think the only caveat we should probably say is we're not health and safety experts, because on a jar it does say.
Yeah, but that's because they are just trying to cover themselves.
That's what I mean. But I'm just saying that. But yes, I would not put any condiment, mustard or jam, marmalade, anything in the fridge.
But I would say that homemade jams and chutneys. Amazingly, this is what I found over my experience over the years. If you've put them in you've sterilised your jar, you've put them in, they can sit in the back of a cupboard as long as it's dark and it's cool, of course. for a very long time. And yet I have had some things that I might have put in the fridge and they've gone, you've got the mould on. So it's interesting. I think it's to do with level of sugar, preservatives like vinegar.
And it'll be moisture, that's what breeds the bacteria. But anyway, we'll move off from bacteria, I think. So our usual sort of question, do you know what you're having for dinner?
No, I wanted to talk about. So have you covered any good old recipes this week? Because I wanted to know. I just want to bring this one in.
I've got the bolo roy, obviously. That was my big recipe.
Okay, but I want to talk about mine. So the good old Delia Smith came out again this week. And it was her coq au vin recipe. I don't know. I had some chicken legs and I really fancied it. I think the cold grey days. And suddenly you just think, a few onions, some leftover red wine, bit of bacon in there, slow cook, absolutely delicious. So I just wanted to bring that one in because it was a good one. And you know what? It's a great one pot, isn't it? And you can serve that with anything. I think I did a big celeriac thing. Oh, wow. So I really like celeriac. Well, I say thing, it's because it's not a vegetable I necessarily radiate to, but you can really adapt it. And I just cooked it and crushed it.
Do you know what I think it is?
It's really nice, actually.
It's that slight bitterness to it.
Yeah.
It has a slight edge. And I think that's why people don't warm to it as a vegetable.
It's really good. It's really good. And so I'm on a let's use more celeriac, and of course it is seasonal. So if anyone's got any great suggestions for recipes out there,
well, it's quite good for like vegans and vegetarians to use something like that because it's quite hearty. If you're not eating meat or fish or anything like that.
Yeah, of course, yeah, totally. But I think we should all get a bit braver about using these things, and there's all sorts of things you can do with them. You can roast them, slice them, and of course celeriac makes remoulade.
That's what I would, but that's
shredded. Everyone remoulade.
I would say for a lot of people, that's probably what celeriac is. Remoulade. It's probably the most prolific celeriac thing.
Yeah, it's probably the only processed thing you can buy because you can quite often buy.
But it's lovely in France. You can buy them with different.
You can in France, not so much here.
No, not here, but. I don't think I've ever. Have you seen remoulade for sale?
Yeah, I have.
And where were you though?
Waitrose, of course.
Harvey Nick.
No.
Food halls. No, but maybe we should start a campaign. Remoulade everywhere. That's what we need. But anyway, so do you know obviously you've had your
right? So I do know what.
No.
So that was a few days ago. So this is another chicken thing, but so this is using up minced chicken.
Yeah.
And which I think is a good substitute because I don't know why I don't eat quite so much things that like red meat in them. But so chicken mince, and I find sometimes you can make it into like little meatballs.
Yeah.
Or you can make them into burgers type things like patties, and you can add other flavours into them. So you can treat it just like you might make, use minced beef, okay? Yeah. But anyway, so what I do sometimes is if I've had some, and then I can also break them up, and I think tonight I'm going to break them up in a little bit of pasta.
Oh, nice.
And just keep it very, very simple.
Pasta.
Yeah, but they've already been made into meatballs, but I'm just going to break them up, sprinkle it amongst the pasta.
Oh, lovely.
So I think that should be all right.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you then?
Well.
Oh, well.
It's more of a habit now that's formed, which I shouldn't have.
What?
Well, I've got a taste for a dry gin martini when I was on holiday.
I want to try one.
Well, we nearly had one at the weekend, but we didn't.
We were here and I haven't got any vermouth or whatever it is.
Vermouth, yeah. So, that's not what I'm having for dinner, by the way.
That is a problem, Charlie.
I fancy one. So I thought I might treat myself to a martini. But I do like mine especially dry. So
next time you invite me over for supper, we're going to have a martini.
A shaker, not stirred. But yes, I've also, I don't know if I talked about this before, so I might repeat myself.
What?
I've really got into tarragon.
Oh, I love tarragon.
Yeah, and I bought some, and I do actually have a steak in the fridge, so I was thinking I might make béarnaise sauce.
Oh, that's
homemade béarnaise sauce.
Oh, I know.
Going back to the French classic cooking,
yeah,
there is something yes, it's difficult to make. Well, it's not difficult to make. Again, it's like the bread. It's just a bit more effort and time.
Oh, I know.
But all you are is whisking. You're whisking.
Can you keep it?
Actually, not really. That's the thing.
So you do have to use that one. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, actually, we're going to have to, again, another caveat. There's quite a few caveats tonight. This is when you do use French cold butter, because you need, because when you do a bain marie, obviously, and you've got your egg yolk, and then you'll whisk. Oh, and some sort of infused vinegar, which I won't go into now because it's a bit detailed, but maybe for another time. And you put that over a glass bowl over some simmering water, or barely simmering, and then you gradually whisk in, chunks of butter. But it takes probably 20 minutes, half an hour to achieve that.
Delicious though.
And then you put your fresh chopped tarragon into it. And it is just, for me, it's like one of the, you can forget your hollandaises and all that. Béarnaise sauce is probably my number one.
But if we just go quickly back to what we were talking about, about Michelin stars and good restaurants and everything. But for me, I know that we're just talking about one sauce, but it's the effort. They go through the effort. So when you get that, it is a flavour bomb. But you are getting the actual thing that's been handmade that evening, or at least that day. And then, but it's all, that's the difference.
Yes, definitely. But also we've seen in, there's lots of documentaries and behind the scenes of restaurants, but if they're making a stock, they might have made that 2 or 3 days ahead of time, from bones, from do you know what I mean? So all that's just to make the stock. Then they've got to make the roux, reduce it, add the wine. I mean, the effort that goes in just to making a little jus that gets drizzled over your.
And who's good on their social posts about that is Fallow in London.
Yeah, I was going to mention Fallow.
So Fallow are really good. If you do follow them, they do a lot of behind the scenes, and they're quick videos, but they kind of are great at just explaining it and kind of demystifying it.
I think also they're really good at their provenance. They tell you where things have come from. And again, you then appreciate when you are paying a bit more for a, Bib Gourmand Michelin or 1, 2 or 3 or whatever it might be, the effort that's gone into producing your tiny or whatever it is, your starter, is incredible.
Yeah, and as you say, the provenance of the food as well. So it's local, and then the effort that goes into that
from a high street, restaurant.
No, because it's all bought in.
Yeah,
and it's paint by numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. On that note, but we were just going to touch base on what we're going to chat. We think we might do a bit of a tasting.
So I can never say it properly, apparently.
Oh.
So I don't know if you should say it.
Well, hummus.
Hummus.
I say hummus. You say hummus.
Well, I don't know. Everyone says it slightly differently.
No, I say hummus.
And then have you seen the spellings are all different?
Yes, but it's
I know.
Well, okay.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, so many, many years ago, I went to a hummus factory, which I will talk about more on the next podcast. But for some reason, that memory came back to me, and I decided that we should.
Also, we thought we would like to do a little bit more of a tasting. So
tasting session.
Yeah, we did our mince pies at Christmas, didn't we?
So we thought we'd do hummus.
Okay. So you're going to buy some and I'm going to buy some, and we're going to mix it up, are we? Like a few. Are we going to do a homemade one?
Well, we could do a homemade one, but should we stick with classic, or do we want all those different flavours you get now? It's going to be difficult to judge, though.
Yeah. No, let's stick to classic.
Okay, classic hummus.
Classic hummus.
Hummus. I don't know.
Hummus.
Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So, yes, it's now getting dark, so we probably will have. Well, I'm going to go and have a martini.
I was going to say you've got to go and make your martini.
Well, get my shaker out.
Oh, can you bring?
Send one back.
Yeah, could you bring your? What have I got to get? What am I missing?
Vermouth.
I've got to get that. Okay, I'll get some of that, and then we can try.
And if you want an olive or a lemon, depends.
That's right. I've always got both.
Yeah,
I've always got both.
Fine.
So on that shaken and not stirred,
well, we wish you a very happy rest of your week. Thank you for continuing to listen. As always, we're at Relish Lifestyle on TikTok and Instagram. So please message, like us, follow us if you're enjoying us. And I think that's everything, isn't it? Do you want to add anything tonight?
Keep relishing life.